Dirty pants, clean body. Dirty pants, clean body.
Dirty pants, clean body indeed, and a very good evening to all of you. I am as chuffed as buggery to be here with you tonight for, what day is it? Tuesday Night Live. Tuesday, who knew? My God, my flying spaghetti monster. A jolly good evening to each and every one of you, my beautifully white bottoms. And as I say, it's nothing less than a sheer orgasmic joy to be here with you once again. Coming directly, oh, Tracy, for God's sake, I didn't need to see that. Or that, thank you. It's a huge pleasure to be coming live into your eyes and ears, direct from here at Windy Bottom in the Peak District National Park. And how are you, darlings? I hope that you're wonderfully well. I hope that your day has been full of joy and has been specially fluffed with extra plumptiousness. That's what I hope for you, and nothing less. Now, we've got lots to talk about tonight. I've done a thing for a start, and there's a bit of vehicular news that is not of the best variety. However, before I start, let's dust something off at the past. Not past. Christ, it's a bit early to start getting my words wrong, isn't it? How are you, darlings? Anyway, while I'm waffling on, you let me know how you are, how your day has been, and above all, I need to know what you had for dinner. And if you're drinking something, like me, cheers, and let me know what it is. Your very good health, darlings. Okay, some of you need to ease up on the more outrageous filth, right? Now, most of the stuff is okay, we can get away with. Bit of swearing, not a problem, bit of innuendo, all of that sort of thing. Some of the stuff last night was beyond the pale. You know, even the ones that I didn't read out, other people could see for a period, and it caused offence. It offended me, some of them, to be honest. I had people turn off, I've had people complain, and above all, again last night, I got demonetised. So can't keep on doing this. I'm not, you know, we have a laugh. God knows I do my share of risque stuff, but there is a line. So please don't cross the line with, you know, what you know is seriously crossing the line and seriously offensive. So please just don't do those. We don't need them. They don't add anything to the fun, really. They're going to alienate people. They've already alienated people. They're going to put my account at risk, and they're getting me demonetized. So I'm sitting here last night I sat there for 2 hours, having fun, loving being there, but also giving it my best effort, and I've ended up doing it for nothing. And so it's just not fair all round. So, you know, a bit of filth, yes, a bit of bad language, not a problem. We can get away with that. I can still advertise on there. They accept that, but not the outrageous, just horrible stuff. Okay, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I can, you know, people have said I should do the moderation thing, and look, you know, I'm sitting here doing 17 things at once. I'm drinking, I'm thinking, I'm reading your messages, I'm trying to keep conversation going, I'm trying to rattle at you, and I don't want to go down the moderation route. We're all grown-ups. Just rein it in just a little bit. Just those few of you who put some, you know, truly disgusting things on there last night, they're going to cause offence. So, you know, let's not do it. And whilst we are all adults, and whilst it is after 11 o'clock at night, it's not always going to be after 11 o'clock at night. It's not even 11 o'clock at night for some people watching this now, our Antipodean or American friends or people from elsewhere. And people watching it on catch-up, they could be watching it on a big TV, and their family could be watching or listening. So, you know, people are going to expect a certain level of adult, you know, but not the disgusting stuff, please. Thank you so much. Now then, let's crack on. Who's here? Joe, the lovely Joe Cox. Evening. Jason, hope you're well, mate. I'm grand, thank you. Simon is here from one of our community channels, Smashing Pistons, and says good evening. Oh, and he's going to crack straight on with a haiku. Here we go. Here we go. Strap in, darlings. Miss Boo is broken, no longer firm, her clutch slips. Farewell to Miss Boo. More on that later. Trace is with us and says evening all. Oh, she's been on granny duties looking after her middle grandson, who by all accounts is absolutely hilarious. You might know him, you might agree. Are you on the wonk? I'm not convinced that you're not on the wonk. Now, I'm going to keep a very close eye on you, so just behave yourselves. Simon's planning to fall asleep. I think a lot of people are planning to fall asleep. Simone is here, the lovely... and oh, I do hate it when that happens. Hopefully you're back. Just wait for a minute for it to stabilise. Chat amongst yourselves. I don't want to get going again if it's going to cut out straight away. And I hope it behaves itself. I've got a thing to tell you about. I actually did a thing today, a proper grown-up thing involving a power tool, no less. Right, looks like we might be okay. Slurp of slush and we will crack on. You are live on Boaty's World, says Simone. Please do not swear. And that is, of course, an homage to that that dreadful program. What was it called? Oh, Big Brother, Big Brother, Big Brother. Now, I wasn't a fan of that. Of course I wasn't. However, that television program was based on a sociological experiment that took place in Belgium. And I remember when that was happening, long before Big Brother started. It got a lot of coverage on Radio 4 at the time, and I found that absolutely fascinating. And I did watch Big Brother when it was first aired, because if it was going to be some form of slightly more entertainment-based replication of that sociological experiment, I was all for it. But of course, it was just dross, quite frankly, and is one of the reasons why I gave up television. General Cheeseburger is here and says, evening members, and I'm sure he wishes everybody else a good evening as well. I'm sure you're on the wonk. Yeah, I'll let you off for now. We'll monitor that situation. Oh, my shirt's all in the wrong place. get sorted out. Oh, that's better. Frank is with us and says, how are we all? Oh, and Simon's talking about Big Brother 2. It was great for the first season or two. Well, you know, I wouldn't say it was great, but I'll confess that it was less awful. It did get considerably worse as it went on. Juju hates this music, says Simon. Literally finds it horrid. Well, you know, it would be a boring world if we all had the same taste, wouldn't it? I think it's utterly fabulous. And I enjoy it every time I play it. Tracy's trying to put me off and says big bouncy chesticles. Cheeseburger has retracted a message. Jaden's here. Evening all. Good evening to you. I'm just testing out the new naughty wordages, says Trace. Trace should get away with those. You know, big bouncy chesticles, not a problem with that. There's not even a problem with bad language. You know, you can drop an F-bomb if you feel the need to. I mean, we shouldn't have to, really, but that's not going to cause any trouble as far as I'm aware. If you did, it's... well, I'm not going to repeat what was said last night. We just don't want to see that again. Oh, excuse me. Early Big Brother was good, says man. Went downhill quickly. Dad dancing, says Cheeseburger. It's the only sort I do, mate. Barry's here, that guy from SETI Alpha 5. Oh, bit of Welsh. How are you all, he says. And I'm well, thank you. Hope you are too. Ashley is here, Ashley Stewart. Trisha agrees with Juju on the music. Not a fan. Oh dear, sorry to hear that. Rob is amongst us, right in our midst. Evening, Boaty, evening all. Rob, the new mighty keeper of the channel fanning. Joe says, sorry to hear about Boo and a slipping clutch. Yeah, I'm sorry too. I'm going to talk about that. Simon says, Trisha, the music seems all out of time. It really pokes my music brain. It really isn't all out of time. It's beautifully mixed. Pingu's here. Honourable recognition to your Reverence Admiral Boaty. And a jolly good evening to you as well, Pingu. And thank you again for my bag of bits. Steve Colg is here and says, evening troops. Now we're getting on to dinner news. I always get excited about dinner news. Now, Barry, who you may remember is one of us, a Welshman, but he's currently spending some time living in the United States because, let's face it, somebody has to. And apparently it wasn't acceptable that someone was the native Indian Americans. No, they needed a different... I blame the Dutch going over there and creating New Amsterdam. Anyway, the point is that Barry had salad with rotisserie chicken, and that sounds bloody good. I'm drinking a cheeky Sauvignon Blanc, says Trace. The Brancott estate, no less. Simon has got a suggestion for me. Sell one or two at the Fleet and fix Boo. It's your most practical car, is it not? Well, no, it's not the most practical car. Not by any manner of means. It's an elderly Freelander, still running four-wheel drive, which, you know, has every probability of breaking sometime soon. It's permanent four-wheel drive, and it's got the aerodynamic properties of a wardrobe, so it's not particularly economical. It's got a leaky sunroof. It's got yeah, it's not something that you would consider as a daily. I would say that Shison is my most practical car. But I do take your point, and I will talk about that. Burn the clutch out, you tosser, says Mike, who sold me this shed of absolute bilge. I have not burnt the clutch out, Mike, as you well know. The clutch was on its last legs when I took the car. I was just hoping that they had a particularly high bite point, but I I've most definitely not burnt the clutch out. I've only done about 400 miles in the bloody thing since I bought it. Dear God. And no wonder I'm sitting in the car at Mike's and I said, oh, electric sunroof, let's try that. And he said, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Well, I found out why afterwards, didn't I? It had been bloody sealed at some point because it leaks like buggery. When you're out in that car in a rainstorm, it's like you're sitting in a power shower. Bless it. Right, I'm going to talk about that card in a moment, but I'm going to get through some comments first. I am so looking forward to watching last night's stream after this, says Trace. It was a really good one. It was a really good one. Simon says, get some moderators, you plum. Well, no. I'm not going to ask people to give their time to do a job that they're not being paid for at this time of the evening when we're all adults. And as far as I'm concerned, if I ask you to rein in and not post the stuff that you know is over the line, I expect you as friends and as community members and as mature, responsible adults to simply do it. There's no way that us, a community group of grown-ups and friends, should need moderating by anyone. Not me, not YouTube, and certainly not some people that I try and coerce or bribe into doing it as a job. We don't need it. I've asked and people will, I'm sure, heed my wishes. None of you want to see me demonetized or lose my account, do you? Of course you don't, right? And it's the first time I've said, I'm not knocking anybody, right? It's the first time. Okay, being demonetized, I kind of took that on the chin because you're all having fun. So, you know, I don't mind that. I've been demonetized before on the live streams because of comments. Haven't mentioned it. But when people say to me that, look, I had to leave last night because I was so disgusted and offended by what people were typing, that's the line. We're not going to be an exclusive community, and I'm not going to stand for people having to leave because of what some of us are typing for. So I've asked, it's the first time I've asked, and I know I won't have to ask again. Do you mind, please? Hello, broadcasting here. Oh God, that's my Ukrainian thing. I've my Help the Ukrainians group thing. They wanted to add a chat facility to it, and I've allowed it, and God almighty, it's just ping-ponging left, right and centre. I mean, it's good. I just need to work out how to mute it so it doesn't interrupt live streams or just my life generally, really. Joe had tuna, jacket potato and salad. Very healthy. Simone says, Boaty, you need to make someone moderator, seriously. I don't think I do, for all of the reasons I've just said. Great day, says Cheeseburger. Glad to hear it. Lunch at San Carlos in Brum. Not familiar with San Carlos. He doesn't need a moderator, says Trace. Just a keen delete finger. Yeah, well, there shouldn't be anything that I need to delete, now I've asked. What did I miss last night again, says Mike. For goodness sake. He didn't say for goodness sake. Well, he didn't say anything rude. He said FFS. We know what that means. You're allowed to say that. Unless we were playing Just a Minute, in which case it would be repetition of F, and whoever challenged you would get a point. Mike, it was a brilliant live stream last night. Record numbers. We all had a lot of fun. There were just 4 or 5 comments that went over the line a little bit. That's all. Yeah, they were in bad taste, Simon. I agree. Air fried chicken and salad was Bad Book's repast of choice. Very boring. Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. It does sound a little bit dry, though. I would at least want to have a dressing on the salad, a bit of vinaigrette of some nature, or what about a nice little side of coleslaw? That would have been good. Stephen S. Paul is with us. Hello, Fartis Maximus, and the rest of you lot. Good evening to you, Stephen. For dinner, says Trace, I had an Indian takeaway selection and it was very good. Good evening, Boaty, says Frank. Good evening to you, sir. Have you booked Wetleg's MOT yet, asks Pingu, and that's a jolly good question, and we should discuss that actually. I mean, the short answer, Pingu, is no, I haven't, but there's a reason why I haven't. Right, I've got a few cars that are coming up for MOT. Well, let's face it, I've got 2 cars where the MOT is, you know, big fat run out. It's not coming up for MOT, you know, that ship has sailed, the MOT is gone. Actually, no, 3 cars. 3 bloody cars. How's that happened? Now, I don't want to tit about with them. What I want to do is rotate them to the yard and get them MOT'd at the garage next door. That's the easiest way of doing it. So if there's something simple they fail on, we can do it in the yard, or we can get the guys in the garage to do it, whatever. And above anything else, at the garage next door to the yard, I get charged trade rates. So that saves me 20 quid on an MOT before you even look at doing any work. And every little helps, as the old lady said when she piddled in the sea. So, this is the plan. I'll do them in rotation. So, you know, when the first one is done, I'll go in another one and bring the one that's done back, and then repeat and repeat ad infinitum. That was the original idea with having a card at the yard. The problem is we've got a stumbling block, and that stumbling block is Boris Johnston. So he's bottling up the doings. So we need to get him sorted. And once he's done and MOT'd, then I will go in Wetleg, bring Brian back, and Wetleg will be MOT'd. And then when Wetleg is MOT'd, and I don't envisage any problems with Wetleg whatsoever, I expect it to fly through, touch wood, you watch a fail on everything under the sun now. And when Wetleg is done, then I will take Stigbürt and bring Wetleg back. And then I'm not sure which one's next. I'm so sorry. There's just no need for it. I should be demonetised for that, for goodness sake. Miss Boo is due in October, and I can't remember the rest. I think Shison is next year. Mingebag isn't a million miles away, come to think of it. And Dicker-Dum-Dum is January, but again, unless something goes spectacularly wrong, Dicker-Dum-Dum shouldn't be a problem, Shison shouldn't be a problem. So there we are, that's the plan. That is the plan. And this bears into what I'm going to talk about, which is Miss Boo. You know, I've got a fair old fleet now, and I need to develop a different mentality. Now, the Miss Boo thing, the slipping clutch, my first reaction was to go back to what I used to do, which would be to just sell the car. Sell the car, spares or repairs. Now, obviously I would take a loss on it, quite a substantial loss, because a clutch is a bloody big job to do on a Freelander, and it's not like the rest of the car is perfect either. There's a load of stuff that doesn't work, it's got the leaky sunroof, blah-de-blah-de-blah. But that would be my initial thing. You know, once I've bought the car, then the car is bought, the money's gone, it's forgotten about. So let's say that I sold Miss Boo for, let's pick a figure. Let's say I sold it for 700 quid, right? Then I wouldn't think, oh God, I've lost £2,300 here. I'd think, oh, I've got 700 quid. I know that's wrong and weird, but that's the way that my mind would work. However, I relatively quickly had second thoughts. All of the cars that I have in the fleet at the moment, I am genuinely attached to. And I'm supposed to be some sort of motoring YouTuber now, allegedly. And I don't want to go down the hubnut route of just getting rid of cars when I'm bored with them, or, you know, and I'm also supposed to be pushing the idea of saving these cars. And so, yeah, I've had a very immediate change of heart. I love Miss Boo. I absolutely love her to bits. Now, I took her to work tonight. That's how I found out that the clutch was slipping. But when I say the clutch is slipping, it's only happening at the moment in extremis, under a very extreme circumstance. You can drive the car perfectly normally, 99.9% of the time, and the clutch is fine for now. Now, obviously, it's going to get worse. But I had an S-Type Jag where the clutch was slipping like that for 18 months, and it didn't really get much worse. And and I don't know how long it would have gone on like that, because I scrapped the car because it was rotten as a pear underneath. So I'm thinking that, you know, I mean, you know, the clutch might totally go tomorrow, but I don't use Miss Boo much, and I'll be using her even less now. So, you know, that clutch, that's, if I drive it properly, the clutch will never slip at all at the moment. That might go on for another couple of days. It might last another week. It might last another month. It might last until next summer, for all I know, with careful and limited usage. And I don't want to sell it. I love having a Land Rover in my life. And I love that particular Land Rover. I'm emotionally connected to her. I love the reg, obviously, for a start. She's got the most amazing history file of any car I've ever owned. Well, along with Shison and HJ, incredible history file, absolutely incredible. And I would want another Land Rover at some point. And Land Rovers, old Land Rovers, you know, they're a bloody minefield. They've got endemic problems, and fundamentally, Miss Boo is all right as far as I'm aware. I mean, I've not put her in for an MOT yet, so I don't know what she's like underneath, but I'm going to assume that she's okay. But she's had a fortune spent on her. So if I sold her and then in a year's time bought another one, the chances are I'd get a lot worse. So I'm not going to do anything silly with Miss Boo. I'm going to just carry on as normal, use her now and then, hope that the clutch will last in some form, at least into the winter and maybe through the winter, and I'll just have to work really hard, become incredibly successful on YouTube and save some pennies and get the clutch done and get the other bits and pieces done as well. You know, that's what I said I was going to do. Now that the fleet is complete, in my mind, with Dick-a-Dum-Dum, then that is the plan from now on. Hang on to them, save them all, and gradually improve them. And this is going to be the first test case, isn't it? So don't worry, Miss Boo is going nowhere for the foreseeable future. I mean, if the clutch completely blows up in next week, then, you know, maybe I'll think differently, but I really, really, really don't want to part with her. And just because I'm, you know, in my normal financial shit at the moment, my own fault, I run a fleet of cars I can't afford to run. In 6 months' time, things might be different. I mean, I might be a damn sight worse off. But, you know, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Things might have changed. The Mustard and Boaty might be doing more cars, and there might be a bit of income there. The YouTube thing might be doing a bit better. The restaurants might offer me an incredibly highly paid senior managerial position. You never know, do you? So I'm just going to sit tight and carry on. And the same thing goes for the MOTs. I've got enough of a fleet now so that if they need to sit for 3 or 4 weeks to wait for an MOT, I'm not going to stress out about that. I used to hate the idea of them of them sitting there and not being able to be used. But I've got to get used to that. I've got to get used to the idea that there's probably the chances of having all of the fleet in perfect working order at the same time is probably going to be quite slim. So I've just got to adapt my thinking a little bit, and that's what I'm doing with Miss Boo. There's a long answer to a short question. The ghosts have decided that's enough for now. Oh yeah, when it went off. God, I'm a bit behind on comments, aren't I? Ghosts are not happy again. Even the interwebs are fed up of the same old rubbish every night, says Simon. Oh yeah, congratulations to Ms. Henrietta Pye, who has got a brand new MOT. G'day, Boaty and everyone, says Ross, trying to get through another 10 shambolic shuffles. Good God, that chap. He does stay busy, doesn't he? Are there more shambolic shuffles going on? Gosh. But I'll tell you what. Say what you like about my friend Mr. Lloyd. He's built a brand for himself. You've got me and Mustard doing his good afternoon. And his shambolic shuffles, you know, they're being taken off left, right and centre. Mr. Rob Beards and Bangers Rob, he's done woeful waddles and, you know, various other takeoffs. So when people are impersonating you, you've got to be doing all right, or, you know, adapting your ideas, shall we say. I'm going to be recording a new intro and a new outro over the next few days, and you know, I can reveal Mr. Lloyd is going to feature in it. His voice is, anyway. The first Big Brother series was very much about the psychology of it all, says Simon. Was 2 to 3 series in before it went downhill into bedtime nonsense and boobs. Oh, Neil's here. Hello all. Sorry I'm late to the party. I'm on the way home. Hello, mate. Is your iPad lead working now? That was the thing I did, Joe, that I'm so excited to tell you about. But I can't really tell you about the thing I did today in this live stream because I can't show you. I've shown you in the daily diary video, which some of you will see later tonight or tomorrow morning, whenever I get around to doing it. Let's be honest, it's going to be tomorrow morning. I'll talk you through it, but it's not the same as showing you. But the answer, Joe, is yes. And when I've got through the comments, I'll tell you how it's working and what I've done. I've done a really impressive thing, and you should all be proud of me. I tried to do another thing, and I literally glued my hand to my head. So don't be proud of me for that. And the glue has all gone now. I have to have I had to get into the bath and shower. I literally glued my hand to my head. Jesus Christ. But the first thing that I did, which turned into a double thing, was a great success. And I will tell you about it. I missed the music intro. Could you play it again, say Steve? Yeah, absolutely. No problem. I'll do it now. No, I won't. It'll be on next time, mate, even though a couple of people don't like it. Nasty Nick was a character on Big Brother 1, says Brad Books. He certainly was. I am driving, says Buddy, so I'm listening rather than participating. And yet, by telling us that you're listening and not participating, you are indeed participating, and we're very grateful for it. Dinner for Simone was chicken curry. Tell us more about that, please. Takeaway, home cooked, style, heat intensity. Oh, I always want to know about curry. Did you have it with rice, or did you have it with naan or chapati or roti? Or did you have it in the traditional Welsh way, half and half? I bet Mike had chicken off the bone, half and half tonight. I'm going to have dinner with Mike one day, just to annoy him. Have you thought of doing, say Skick, late night live with Mustard? Maybe he could stay overnight. Well, yes, Skick, we did think about that, and we did talk about it, and we would like to do it. But it's never going to happen anytime soon, because Mustard, is a good family man, and he does not want to spend an evening, let alone an overnight, away from his beautiful wife and his beautiful girls. So, not going to happen. We did do one together, one late-ish night live together, and then he drove home and didn't get home until midnight. But I don't think that went down terribly well with his family. So it's something that we would love to do, and you know, maybe it will happen one day, but if it does, it'll probably only be a one-off. God, could you imagine me and Mustard drunk together? We don't know what we'd be like drunk together. Well, we've got an idea, because we speak on the phone when we're drunk, and you know, quite frankly, a live stream would be an absolute, I mean, it would be hilarious, but it would be an utter train crash of a thing. God, I mean, you know, the pair of us, when we're not demonetized, disinhibited, another word beginning with D. I mean, you know, we're bad enough when we're sober. Imagine what we're like with a load of booze poured inside of us. Dear me. He does indeed have some lovely wind deflectors, Joe. Another of the reasons why I couldn't part with her. You know, she's got a little bit of you guys in there. She has actually. She's got a bit of Joe, because Joe very kindly supplied the wind deflectors. She's got a bit of Mustard, because Mustard and I went down to get her together. She's got a bit of Mike, because Mike very kindly supplied her. And I'm only kidding about that. There's no way on God's earth that I could have got a better car than that for the money. So I am grateful to Mike, but I'll never admit that. I'll just tell him that he sold me a shed, and he's an absolute scoundrel of a man. And she's even got a bit of the lovely James Chops Garage, because obviously James originally supplied her to Mike, and James very kindly allowed me to use his footage of her in my collection video. So yeah, she's a proper community car, and she's not going to go anywhere. She's just not. Who sold you boo? Cheeseburger. Mike's calling me an absolute tosser. Bloody hell. Rob says, Fanny and I were down near Southampton today collecting a hardtop. Well, you didn't hang about there, Rob. And I thought it was London, not bloody Southampton. All right, you did say the far side of London. Oh, and a bit more rebuttal from Mike. 400 miles with your size 14s. And why didn't it leak when you went home? A 4-hour drive in a fucking monsoon. Tosser. I'll tell you what, well, that's actually a fair point. Well, the size 14s is, and I've got small feet for a man of my size. Mine are only size 11. It didn't leak on the way home, and it was an absolute monsoon. And I don't, for a second, think that Mike knew that there was a potentially leaky sunroof. I know he would have told me if there was. What it actually was, the sunroof began to leak sometime later, and then when I inspected it, there was evidence. Bear in mind it's a 4x4, so unless you're clambering about on the roof, you're not going to see. But I could see evidence that at some point the sunroof had been taped around in order to seal it. And of course, what I'd been doing was opening and closing the sunroof and whatnot. And then it did start to leak a bit again. I've improved it a lot. It's nowhere near as bad as I was. I'm just winding Mike up. Try and make him feel guilty. I always miss the best bit, says Mike. Last night was brilliant. Watch it on catch up. It was a really good one. Bad Book says, my dearest wife borrowed my MX-5 today. Your MX-5, Bad Books? I think you'll find that what's yours is hers. Rang to tell me the driver's door lock jammed. So all 6'2" of her, your missus is 6'2". Goodness me. All 6'2" of her had to get in from the passenger side. Wouldn't open the roof in case someone saw her. Oh dear. And then the door lock was not jammed when she got home. Skick says, can you give me an idea of the topic of some of the wrong comments? No, absolutely not. Pingu, no, I'm not doing that. Steve says, don't forget to give some water to the... Oh dear, yeah. Coleslaw, horrible, says Simone. My stepdad force-fed me the stuff when I was 8. Well, you know, I'm sorry about that, but, you know, that's just personal taste. Coleslaw is lovely. And I have been known to make homemade coleslaw with salad cream instead of mayonnaise. And if you've never tried that, try it. It is bloody awesome. And now I've said that, I haven't done that for years and I need to do it again. Oh, coleslaw made with, you know, just make it as normal. So it's not difficult. Julienne, carrot, white cabbage and onion. And just mix it with some salad cream. It's unbelievably good. And if you've got a really fiery hot pizza, then that is the best coleslaw to have with it. Nice and cold from the fridge. Thank you very much. God, I really want that now. I got into that because I told you before, when I was a student a million years ago, I delivered pizzas for Mario's Pizza Casa in Studley, Warwickshire. And that was how he made coleslaw. And I thought, well, this is just better. And so I've always made it that way. Or at least I did always make it that way. I haven't recently. The last 20 or 30 times I've made coleslaw, I've made it with mayonnaise. But I've chucked in hot paprika, turmeric, chili powder to make a really, really spicy slaw. And that is fabulous as well. Do try that. I mean, don't buy coleslaw. Honestly, make your own. Spice it up, add a bit of something. Supermarket coleslaw is awful. Absolutely awful. No wonder Simone hated it. But, yeah. Rule number 12, always make your own coleslaw. Now then. I've been demonetised today myself, says Stephen. I had to actually buy the Cortina and the Simca from the boss. Good man! Well done! I am so pleased about this. I forked over $4,500 for the pair. This is fine because I now know where he lives. And that's supposed to be menacing, and it is quite menacing because Stephen likes owning a lot of weapons. Quite lethal ones, by all accounts. And Cheeseburger says that actually sounds like a good deal for those cars. I agree. Pros and cons, says Neil. Weigh them up, see if it's worth fixing. Oh, it's going nowhere. Cheeseburger says, selling a car for 700 quid. That is the difference between cash flow and profit. You are almost a banker. Oh, and Mike says, I'll give you 700 quid back for it, you tosser. It's going nowhere, Mike. God, even I would give 700 quid for that. Oh, excuse me, for that car. I love it. It's a keeper. It's going nowhere. I love owning a Land Rover. I still want a Discovery 3, but I would have to be rich to own a Discovery 3. Because, I mean, a Freelander's a bit of a money pit, but a Discovery 3 is a proper money pit. A Discovery 3 is the sort of car that can lose you your house. How much is a clutch and parts, says Cheeseburger? How many miles is it done? A clutch kit is about 130 quid. 140 quid. You need to get a good one. It's the labour that's a killer. It's a big job. It's subframes out, engine and box dropped. The book guide on it is 5 to 7 hours of labour. So, you know, it's not a cheap job. You're probably going to be looking at doing the DMF as well. Well, you know, while you're there. It can easily run up towards £1,000, although, you know, if you're a bit careful and get a bit of a favour, you could probably do it for about 600-700 quid. Does the history file include a new clutch? No, and it's done, wait for it, 130,000 miles. So if that's the original clutch, it's not done badly, has it? Mike's still calling me a tosser. And Cheeseburger clarifies that, Mike, most bankers are tossers. I've been doing it for 35 plus years. Keep Boo, says Joe. She's a brilliant car. How bad does it slip, says Neil. Could it be the master cylinder that's gone pip? Or a weak slave cylinder, I'm guessing, because it's an M47. It's internal slave, so could benefit from a bleed, may cure it. Oh, really? How badly does it slip, Neil? Well, you've really got to make an effort to make it slip at all. If you just drove the car normally, it just wouldn't slip. You can put the car in fifth at 1,000 revs and floor it, and it won't slip at all. You can do the stall test on it, and it'll stall. But if you really, really try, you can make it slip. I just found myself in the wrong gear at the wrong revs on the very wrong road tonight, and it just went, and I thought, oh, okay. Didn't know the clutch was an issue. I mean, I knew the clutch wasn't entirely right, or it didn't feel right. But I thought that just might be the clutch, and it still might be, for all I know. I'll talk to my friend Neil about it. He knows what he's talking about. Monkey Mouse Cat, says Mike, and the same back to you. Mustard has just dropped a new video, apparently. And Joe says, Paul's video was great. Watched that last night. I'm not a channel member of Paul, so I don't get to see them, but I'm going to become a channel member very soon. I should have done it ages ago, but he wasn't offering any real perks. And now there's videos with me in them that I can't bloody well see. So I shall become a Project Nigel channel member. I'll just make sure that I steal something from the yard to that value, or get some free work out of him. Oh, and speaking of mustard, he's here. Project Nigel, hello everyone. And good evening to you, Captain Mustard, sir. And remember, when you salute, long way up, short way down. Thank you very much. Now everybody's saying good evening to Mustard. Neil's thinking that air could have got in the system, could be a quick fix. Oh, well, you know, fingers crossed, touch wood. The car's not going anywhere, so, you know, I can find out in due course. I'm going to need, you know what's going to end up happening? I'm going to have to bribe the lovely Neil and Sophie to come up for the day under the, well, I've already invited them for lunch and a day in the peak. I'm going to have to adapt that and say, oh, and by the way, bring your tools and your overalls. Oh, dear. Oh, microwave ping curry is what Simone had, and it was hot. Oh, and Mike says definitely half and half. Yeah, that is the national dish of Wales these days, apparently. Chicken off the bone, half and half, from Caroline Street on a Saturday night, just after you have the fight. For those who don't know, half and half is half rice, half chips. And, you know, I mean, it's wrong on almost every level, and yet it is absolutely fabulous. Bizarrely, the first time I had chicken off the bone half and half was in Ireland. Or was it Northern Ireland? No, it was Ireland. It was in Dundalk. And, you know, it's like a guilty pleasure. It's like a sinful treat. Oh, dinner news from Mustard. I've had eggs, then more eggs, then 4 burgers with 2 more eggs. Jesus Christ. God, I'm glad I'm not sitting in a car with you tomorrow, sunshine. We thought we were going on an acquisition adventure tomorrow, and now we're not. So that's a shame. It's a shame that we're not buying a car tomorrow. It's a shame I'm not having an exciting road trip with my chum. But it's good that I'll get a chance to catch up on some stuff here, because I've done a thing today and I want to do more things tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. And it's not a shame that I'll be sitting in an enclosed place with Captain Mustard's eggy farts. Oh God. Cheeseburger says, if you have dinner with Mike, don't take the Freelander. I'm still planning. I'm planning to have a night off. Or if not a night off, then I'm planning to have a Monday off from the yard. I'm still planning before the end of summer to go and have my 2 days down in South Wales. I mean, I say 2 days, it'll be an overnight, right? So I'm going to, sorry. I'll drive down. Oh dear, sorry. I'll drive down on the Monday. It'll be M1, M1, A42, M42, M6, M5, M50, heads of the valleys, but then I'll cut off and I'll go over the beacons and I'll go over the family hill, wave to all of my family members who were scattered there, look at the land that we used to own. Take you guys with me. I'll film all of that. Go to my village, go and look at my old cottage, see if it's still a derelict wreck or if somebody's knocked it down and built a new place. Have a look around my old haunts again with all of you guys. Hopefully meet up with Mike and have dinner and a jolly good laugh and film that as well. Have a night in some cheap old hotel, a Premier Inn, or probably the Travelodge on the motorway, something nice and cheap. And then have a look around, I don't know, next day go to the Mumbles, have a knock around Swansea, and then I'll come back the other way down the M4 over the bridge, and then up the M5. I am going to do that. I've got to do that this year. I've not done Slanded, no, I've not done anything else. Oh yeah, but it wouldn't be in the Freelander. If the weather is amazing, then I'd go in Wetleg or Mingebag, but I would probably, of all the cars, the one I would probably go in now would be Dick-a-Dum-Dum. Dick-a-Dum-Dum would be my go-to road trip car. And you know what I'm like, I obsess over silly things. At the moment, I'm obsessing over the CD collection to have in Dick-a-Dum-Dum. I've got this idea that my CD or music selection should be tailored to each car. So, like Stigbürt is big and shouty, so he should have Meatloaf and Tenacious D and all of those in there. And the road trip car should have my Lake Wobegon Days, Under Milk Wood, and my spoken word CDs, basically, because when I'm on a long journey, I tend to prefer plays or audiobooks to actual music. But I do like the idea of going on a road trip in Dick-a-Dum-Dum. I think he's like the ultimate road trip car, isn't he? Bring the Freelander, says Mike. I've got 700 quid for him. Yeah, that's it. I'd only be losing 2,300. I didn't really pay that. Oh dear. If the Freelander's not going to be Scrap Cheeseburger. Rick Mail was born in Redditch, he certainly was. His original Kevin Turvis were recorded in Woodrow in Redditch. Hello everyone, hope you're all okay, says Liz. Has the theme tune finished? And Liz is referring to the old theme tune that she really didn't like, and that's why I changed it. But she never listens to the theme tune, she's got no idea that I changed it, and it kind of doesn't matter because she won't like the new one either. And I don't care, it's for me. It has finished, says Cheeseburger, but he's banging on tonight. I always bang on. Mustard makes coleslaw with yogurt. Interesting. Homemade coleslaw is lovely, says Joe. I agree. Simone says good night. The sound of a Zippo, says Ross, reminds me of my late father. You've got good ears to hear that, Zippo. I have resurrected. Now, as you may know from other videos, I purchase cigarettes that are duty free. Now, obviously, these cigarettes are purchased entirely legally and above board, and there's no funny business. And the guy in the shop that I definitely don't buy them from, because that would be illegal, when you buy a sleeve of 200, the guy always used to give you a disposable lighter. So for months and months and months, I've been using a series of disposable lighters. And there's a new guy in there now who's actually lovely and much friendlier and slightly more attractive. But he doesn't give you a disposable lighter. So I've had to resurrect my lighters, and they are these. As Ross correctly pointed out, my Zippo, and this, which is wonderful. Now, if you drive an MGF and you smoke, you need one of these. Flick it open, press the button. Sorry, darlings, the ghosts cut me off again. Probably because I'm talking about smoking and the ghosts don't smoke. Oh, right. Oh, God, look at the time. We need to crack on. Everybody's saying good night to Simone. If you can't move the old Cheeseburger, is Boo the type where the entire body shell have to lift up and off before you can do anything with the engine and gearbox? Asks Liz. Not a clue. Cheeseburger says, put it through an auction, cut your losses. Oh, that would probably be the least expensive option, actually, but I want to keep her. Drive it carefully, says Mustard, and it will last years. And Neil says, bleed the clutch, and it might cure it. There we are. We have options. I have a feeling, says Barry, it was me with the lascivious filth last night. My bad. It wasn't just you, Barry. Bad Books and Cheeseburger helped out as well. Just sell me the car back, says Mike. £700 of the finest Queen's head. No. Oh, bless you, Neil. Neil says I'll come up and do it and do it for you. No problem, buddy. Oh, bless you. You're a total legend. Oh, video title, says Mike. Another load of absolute toss. I might have to use that because I forgot to tell you to give me a title. I know the subframe has to come out, says Joe. It's quite a big job. Hit the like button, you lazy tossers, says Pingu. Thank you, Pingu. End of summer, that ship has sailed, says Cheeseburger. We might get a few more days. Oh, thank you, Neil. That would be brilliant. Skick says, if money is tight, why don't you sell a car or two? And if not, what is your idea of having so many cars? Well, I like them, Skick. And if I didn't have the money in cars, I would just spend it on something and I'd have nothing to show for it. If I buy cars, at least I've got the cars to show for it. And when the shit hits the fan, I can indeed, as you suggest, sell one or two cars. Oh, Cheeseburger, you arsehole. Stigbürt playlist. The Primitives. Crash. Tracy. Lead singer of the Primitives. There you go. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, good, I've caught up. Right, I can tell you about the thing I did today, and then we must all go, because it is that time. You'll see it properly in the daily diary, but, right, you know that my iPad wasn't charging and all of that shenanigans, and you know, oh, I can't do this without showing you. Can I even talk you through it? I can't. No, you're going to have to watch it on the daily diary, darlings. But I did a really good thing. And the kitchen looks a million miles better. And doing that inspired me to do some other things. And I'm going to do more things in the front parlour tomorrow, because now I've got time. And yeah, let's say your good nights, darlings. That is, gosh, hasn't time flown tonight? That's really flown by. But it is, honestly, I've done a really good thing, and it will be on the daily diary. So do watch that. And no, I won't do that. Oh, that's a good one. Clutch my little boo, the coleslaw needs work. That's brilliant. I like that one. I'll screenshot that one. So, there you go, darlings. That is it for tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for hopefully not getting me demonetized tonight. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, everybody else. Thank you, Mustard. Oh, let's just crack on with the farting, shall we? And go about our business. Here we go. I can't believe the thing fucking cut out again right in the middle of the farting out. All right, darlings, before it cuts out again, thank you so much for being here. Have a safe and peaceful night. Take great care of yourselves. Have the best day you can tomorrow. Thank you once again. See you tomorrow, same place, same time, 11 o'clock. And much love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, you cut out when you bloody want to, but when I try and turn you off, you won't have it, will you?